right now, you're gonna feel the pain by the hands of the Legion of Doom.
We're gonna set you up on the big man's shoulders, and then I'm coming off the top, and we're gonna watch you do a 360 flip. Good for us, but bad for you.
What a rush!
Hello, back in the 80s Toy Museum for this extra special review. It is for a toy that did not come out in the 80s, but should have. It is the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom. Bought these on Big Bad Toy Store. Pre-order a while ago, and they finally shipped. So, a brand new toy review for you on the channel. It's very rare that I review a brand new toy, but taking a closer look at the Legion of Doom. Love watching classic wrestling with my folks, and so many of these guys on this shelf are in the classic matches that I watch with them, and they always get really excited when they see Roddy Piper and Andre the Giant and the Ultimate Warrior and the Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation. But whenever What a Rush starts playing, even though in the arenas the Road Warriors would get what's called the Road Warrior pop, and that was before the Ultimate Warrior got his huge pops, and before Hulk Hogan was getting humongous pops, and Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. These guys blew the roof off of so many arenas with the Road Warrior pop. But not in my house when I'm watching with my folks, because when they come out, oh, it's the spiky guys. A hush falls on the room when the Road Warriors come out. Because these guys are the real deal from Chicago, Illinois, by way of Minnesota, I guess. But let's take a closer look at a pair of toys that I've been waiting for since, I guess, 1990. 1990 is when they first showed up in the WWF, now called WWE, but they were around for much longer than that. But they never got LJN figures back in the 80s. Rubber figures, they did get some Hasbro figures. So in 1990, we finally got to see the Road Warriors in the WWF, along with another warrior, the modern day warrior, Kerry Von Erich. There he is next to another warrior, the Dingo Warrior, aka the Ultimate Warrior. 4 warriors there. And Kerry Von Erich got rebranded as the Texas Tornado when he showed up, and these guys fared a little bit better. They got rebranded the Legion of Doom, which was already their nickname before they came to the WWF. Before we take a look at the figures, let's just push these guys out of the way, making sure I don't poke them with my spikes and they don't poke me with theirs. And just a quick look at the packaging here. It's a standard packaging that all of the Big Rubber Guys figures are coming in, although they did come in this cardboard mailer box, because some of the boxes had been getting smashed. So just to protect it a little bit more, there's some cool card art on there of Hawk and Animal. And the great thing about this packaging, like all Rubber Guys, Big Rubber Guys packaging, is it's resealable. So you can just pull that up, pull the card out, get the figure out. If you want it back in there looking minted package, you can do that again. And it is, as I mentioned earlier, a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. So you're only going to find the red pad Road Warrior, Legion of Doom, sorry. Legion of Doom is this look. The Road Warriors is the all black look. And I'm really happy to add these guys to my collection, but I'm even happier for a good brother down under, who is just a hair, or no, just a spike. He's just a spike bigger a Road Warriors fan than me, and he's a strictly LJN collector. These guys are the exception. This set right here, it's the exception to the rule. So if you only collect LJN, you can get these, put them in the collection, and they will not look out of place. In fact, they will just make the whole collection look better. So I'm very happy that he's got these on the way for his collection as well. The figures themselves. So when the initial pictures were released of these guys, Animal had a bit of a squat. So when he's just on his own, it's a little funny looking, although it's really not that different from some of the other LJNs. And since they're right back there, I'm going to grab one of the more squatting guys. Let's grab the other giant of wrestling, Big John Studd. So it's really not that far off from how squat they made Big John Studd and Hulk Hogan back there as well. Really reduces, I mean, Studd was a giant, and him crouching like that really reduces his height. And wow, he's actually standing. Look at that. Not for long though. Also authentic to how a lot of the old LJN superstars were, is that not all of these guys will stand very securely. Not all the big rubber guys. Animal's not bad. Hawk's not too bad. They're pretty sturdy. But there's a few others that you need to put a little bit of sticky tack or something under the front of the foot or on the heel just to keep them standing. So this is one of those deals where it looks way better in hand than in pictures. I was one of those, when I saw the pictures, I thought, oh my gosh, he's too squat. He looks too, and he does, I guess, when you look at them like this, he's too short compared to Hawk, even though Hawk was taller than Animal. But the whole key is that's the pose right there. That's how you put them together. And that looks fantastic. If Animal was a little taller, you would have the same problem as you do with this set. The first release of the Road Warriors, I guess you can call these guys the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, back when Legion of Doom was just their nickname. And so, here's the red pads, guys, how they would be displayed. And then here's the black pads, and Hawk's too short. See, they knew what they were doing by giving Animal the squat here. There's no way to really pose them one in front of the other. The spikes are getting in the way. Having Animal stand behind Hawk doesn't quite look right either. It looks like he's too far back. Spikes again getting in the way, or Animal's fist getting in the way. And then if you put them side by side, just Hawk's hands being out like that, again, they don't really look all that cohesive. Some of the tag teams look really nice together, like the pose they gave the Bulldogs over here. They look really nice, especially with a dog in between them and Captain Lou. The Hearts had a great pose for posing them together. The Hart Foundation, the greatest tag team of all time. I say it because someone has to. With the Anvil having his hand on Hitman's back. But the Black Pads Road Warriors, as much as I like them, and I love them, the one trick is, you can't really put them together unless you elevate Hawk. When you put Hawk on some steps or a box in behind, that's when they look awesome. They kind of recreate the poster, the picture that they used on the NES game. So that's really the only way I've been able to figure out how to make these guys look good together. But with these guys, you can have, like I showed already, Hawk off to the side a little bit. Or you could do the same thing with Hawk elevated a little bit, and that looks fantastic too. Hawk standing on something. So a couple of more display options. Looks terrible if Animal is in behind here. It's really bad. Animal has to go in front here, but yeah, it looks good on either side. If you're just a put it on a shelf and look at it type, if you're not a futzer. The belts are not included. These are old Jax belts, which are my favorite to use with any LJNs or big rubber guys. And they're big enough to go around the waists, which are bigger than the Jax figures that they were intended for. And if you take those belts off, then you get a nice little Legion of Doom lettering on the belt or waistline of both, Legion of Doom, as well as they didn't really have much graphic on their wrestling gear, but whatever that striped line was, that they got it. And then their boots, which it's nice. It's got a little silver buckle there with black straps. And same with Animal. And what's especially nice about this repaint is that it's not a lazy repaint. It's completely brand new molds. Brand new bodies, different boots on Animal, different body, different expressions on the face, different pads even. That could have been really easy for them to just recolor the pads, but completely different pads. See, the NWA ones have chains on them. WWF ones don't. Similar style, Animal always had the shorter spikes on one side, good for trying to gouge out Dusty Rhodes' eye, and then the bigger ones on his other shoulder. So they held on to that. And then Hawk, same deal, tongue out on both, but no chains there, different boots, different spikes. And these are sharp. They're actually sharp, which is not what you're going to find on Mattel figures. Even the old Hasbro ones had really blunted spikes. I mean, that's pretty sad. You can't really call that a spike. But the big rubber guys, I think you would be able to... where is he? He's back there somewhere. I think you'd be able to gouge his eye out with these spikes, but if you do that, you better get the job done. If you leave him still breathing, it'll be violence for the sake of violence. That's one for the old school NWA fans. One of my favorite Dusty promos. And honestly, I would have been cool with them just looking like this. Non-removable pads, because there were a lot of old LJNs that had non-removable gear, like Piper's shirt couldn't come off, and Harley Race's jacket, even though it should have been a robe, jacket couldn't come off, and a bunch of other things. But the fact that they made these spikes removable is so awesome. So awesome. And they don't just come off, like, you cannot get these off. They hook in there. Oh, this one's wiggling just a little bit. Hawks is more secure. But on the inside of them, and I went through this on Patreon when I reviewed the NWA All Black Road Warriors. But these are the same type. You know, on the inside, you can see some reverse muscle molding so that it'll fit snugly on all the muscles on the figure. And man, this is my first time seeing this without the pads on, and that is spectacular. That is Hawk. That is definitely Hawk's build. He had those traps that made him immune to the pile driver. That is incredible. So you get two amazing looks. And the spikes are fantastic. Who could ever get tired of them? But if you do, you've got the in-ring look for Hawk and for Animal. So easy to take them off too. Doesn't feel like you're gonna chip any paint off his nose or do any damage to him. And that's definitely Animal too. Cuts are for kids. This guy was just a beast. Pure power. Now, in terms of old style play, some of the LJN poses were better for play than others. Hulk Hogan's, Andre the Giant, great poses for play because you could do power slams and pile drivers and suplexes. Couldn't really do much with guys like Paul Orndorff, but in terms of play and seeing what moves they can actually do to other figures, let's bring out one of their rivals, another Big Rubber Guys, the first Big Rubber Guys figure actually. Demolition Smash. So obviously the first move we want to see if they can do is the Doomsday Device, which I guess maybe this guy isn't the best guy to try that on. Animal would lift the opponent up on his shoulders, and since Animal's hands are so low, he can't really grab onto the feet and secure. So, I mean, it didn't really bother us as kids. It's close enough, honestly. Get the hawk up on something high, like my microphone right there, and then launch off and hit the doomsday device. Flip the guy. What a rush. So, yeah, if you want to give these to kids to smash around and play with them, they're just as durable as the original ones were. But in terms of posing them on your shelf, you're not really going to be able to set up the doomsday device on your shelf with these guys. That's more for the more posable Mattel figures. Love these figures. Love them just as much as Big Rubber Guy's Dusty Rhodes, another figure that I waited so long for them to finally do. And Dusty was my favorite figure of last year. And the year is still fairly young, but these are my favorite so far of this year. They're just fantastic. Quality on them is fantastic. Let's go in for a closer look at the face paint job. That's always an important thing. And they're doing an amazing job. No eyes that are looking in different directions. It's on par with 80s LJN, so there's not going to be any, shading or anything like that, but the important things are done perfectly here. Nice sharp detailing on the face paint, the tongue, the teeth, the eyebrow, the hair. There's no leaky paint blobs on there. Looks fantastic. Nice sharp lettering on the belt. Animal's face. The spider is, if there's going to be a problem anywhere, it's going to be the spider, and that looks perfect. That looks Kurt Hennig. Absolutely perfect. Great eyes. It's even got little white dots to make the eyes look like they're shining. A little soul patch. Really, really nice when you take a super close look at these. Great job on these. Very grateful that they got made. Love the, like I said, love the poses on them. And there's just one thing missing. So, not as big a deal with the WWF look with the red pads, but a bigger deal with, I got him back in the cage there now, the NWA, but he could go with either set, this set or that set. Precious Paul, their manager, Precious Paul Ellering, who did actually get a figure in the 80s in this 3-pack with the Road Warriors. So the Road Warriors did get figures in the 80s before NWA, before WWF. There's this Remco AWA 3-pack. And they're basically He-Man figures. But Precious Paul was not only their in-ring manager, he was their real-life manager. He took care of their bookings, and I think he invested their money in stocks because he always had a Wall Street Journal. He was a very important part of the Road Warriors, and the team was so tough, so intimidating, that even their manager could kick your butt. So with teams like the Hart Foundation, who had the, little Jimmy Hart, and who else was there? The Valentine and Beefcake had Johnny Valiant. They always had managers that couldn't really do much damage. Bobby Heenan. Paul Ellering was as jacked as the Road Warriors were. And that's the one thing that I'm still wanting Precious Paul to either stand in front or in behind. So I'm really hoping that Big Rubber Guys does a Precious Paul. He's been released by WWE now, so it could happen. I don't know what the rights are like with his situation right now, but if you are a diehard, hardcore, old school Road Warriors Legion of Doom fan and you want to see a Precious Paul to go with either this set or the all black set, then maybe we can get a slogan going. Triple P, Precious Paul, please. So if we could maybe politely and nicely ask the good folks at Big Rubber Guys, Precious Paul, please. love the Road Warriors, but how about the guy who helped them become the legends that they were? Precious Paul, please. But even if we don't get them, fantastic job. They look amazing. Man, those are some awesome, awesome looking figures. That is toy artistry right there. What a rush. What a rush. Absolutely beautiful. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks to the Patreon tribe for supporting the channel. And thank you to the channel panel for hitting the join button, supporting the channel as well. Until next time, good night, good luck, God bless, and what a rush.